Hello everyone, I'm just going to say this quickly. Let's talk about what Overwatch needs right now. And just going to try and do this in one sitting, so let's see how this goes. Let's start with the state of Overwatch right now, which is really good. The game has gone from having one core game mode to now having 3 core game modes, with role queue, like 5v5 role queue obviously, 6v6 open queue, which is also its own balance patch now, and stadium, which is arguably the most impressive of these 3 modes. On Stadium, you can look at how much adding Stadium has done for the game. There's so much getting added through this mode, because this mode every season right now is getting like 3 new heroes a season added, which all have like new powers, new items, and not even going to the fact that like this game mode is constantly being updated all the time, which is crazy that they got this pipeline down. That's it for Stadium also. I'm gonna go back to that, but also then we could go to 66, which to me, that has fully rejuvenated my love for this game. It is crazy to me how much having this different way to play tank in a still very like core way to play Overwatch has just made me love playing this role again. There's no take less headshot passive, there's no knockback resistance on tank, and that's about it. They kept the little you gain this ultimate charge from shooting the tank passive, which is fine to keep. I can live with that, because I feel like the base state of the tanks is more interesting, and in general, the tanks they have gotten back the old roles in a way, because in 5v5, we're dealing with this weird thing where every tank has to be a main tank, because there's only one of them. But in 6v6, some of the tanks are allowed to have a bit of their identity back, because they can play in this off-tank role again. And that's obviously not to say that like, oh yeah, 5v5 tank is the most boring thing in the world. It is to me, but you know, I'm kinda biased. But anyway, that's just quickly my feelings on the current state of Overwatch. But let's get to what I actually want to talk about, which is what would I like to see them do with this game now? And to help me with that, I've made a list. So I'm just gonna go through that list with you, just off the cuff, and hopefully this works out. Let me just find it. I would say where we start with progression. Overwatch progression has improved a lot. Loot boxes got reintroduced a few seasons ago, which has just helped like with gaining items and feeling like you're getting something. The issue I do have with it is the fact that you're limited to 3 loot boxes a week. So progression still kind of runs out in the same way that it still used to when we only had the battle pass, which that's all a can of worms. But I feel like in the sense of loot boxes, I would really like for them to improve maybe the ways you can earn loot boxes, because it is interesting you can earn them through a bunch of event challenges, which is good. I'm really happy to earn a bunch of epic loot boxes and just loot boxes in general, because it's just fun to gain items. I don't even gain items for heroes I like. I've gotten a bunch of Kiriko skins. Like, I don't care about that, but I'm still like, wow, look at that golden thing spinning in the air. It means I get something cool, and I'm like, I did it. I'm so good at this game. But that's something that got to be improved. I do think in general, the game could use more general progression, especially beyond the battle pass, because everything is kind of just tied to the battle pass. I still don't get why the endorsement reward is like, wow, you're level 4 endorsement, here's 3000 EXP every month. You're so good. Where like in Overwatch 1, when I had a decent endorsement level, they were like, here's a bunch of loot boxes, go at it, maybe do that again, rather than give me EXP that I don't need above level 30. But that can get us to the battle pass quickly. The battle pass, I think, does make sense in the modern day. That's just how every game does it now. But I still don't really get why people can't get the old battle passes. I know there's a whole FOMO talk of like, oh, but we gotta have FOMO so people buy the battle pass. But then like, you know, Rivals exists, which just lets you buy whatever battle pass. Even, I think Halo Infinite does it too, that you can get whatever battle pass whenever, and then you can do it whenever, which just is really nice for picking what rewards you want to unlock, because there's a bunch of good old battle passes with a bunch of good old skins that you just can't earn. And I don't really think it's gonna be the end of the world if we let the guy that started playing Overwatch like a month ago earn the 2-year-old skins at this point. It's kind of fine. But that's obviously not to say the battle pass hasn't been improving. Like, they've been adding loot boxes to the battle pass. They added the mythic prisms to the battle pass. Coins on the battle pass now. That's a big thing, arguably. Mythic prisms I do like. I would like if I could spend them, but that's just a personal thing with the mythics they're releasing. And I do know that if they had to give us old battle passes again, they do need to update them, because then the mythic skin needs to be replaced by prisms, which is possible. Coins need to be added to it. Maybe loot box needs to be added to it. I do think they should. I know some people might get upset that like, oh, if someone gets loot boxes for getting the battle pass late, that's unfair to them. I guess it is. That sucks, I guess. People should be able to get old battle passes, just in my opinion. I think that's fine. Then we could get to the next thing with progression. I am happy that we're getting event challenges in some form, but I can't help but feel like event challenges are kind of shown in the wrong way in Overwatch 2. The way is that they're inside this event tab right now, which I get why they do it. They want to like make it the same, but I can't help but feel like it makes events feel less special. Like I kind of miss in Overwatch 1 when we had those lore events and it was like weekly events doing like the normal events where like you had to play like a certain amount of games to unlock a skin, and then like on the main menu could be like, this is how far you made it. I feel like something like that, getting that again could be really nice, because I think a game like Rivals does something similar, and it just feels good. It feels nice feeling like you're progressing in some form, and you're like, oh right, I am getting this cool thing by just playing the game. It's fun. About it with progression, I do think we need updates with progression, but that's about it with my takes on it. Now, let's get to the next thing, and that is miscellaneous things I want. First of all, I am really happy it sounds like they're doing some type of arcade update, but I think arcade needs to change what balance patch is on. For right now, arcade is in this weird state where it's on the old OpenQ 5v5 balance patch, which, I'm just gonna say it, was really bad. That was a really bad OpenQ patch. But now 66 exists, and we have this very good OpenQ balance patch. And I can't help but think, okay, maybe the arcade modes should be made OpenQ again, like OpenQ 66. And then we should use this OpenQ 66 balance patch just to help the modes feel better, just in general, because if it's just like the 5v5 balance patch, but I think the tanks have like 150 less health, it's a mess. Ramatra gets down to like 300 something health. A few tanks get down to like a really low, like, health point, which is really bad. So if we could avoid that in some form, could be really nice. I would also say in the arcade, we need to decrease how many arcade cards are in the arcade, especially with the fact that we have 3 core game modes now. This is the most core game modes Overwatch has like ever had, because we only really had one for like arguably years now that people took seriously. But now we have 3 core game modes that people take seriously, so maybe the arcade doesn't need as much space in this sense. And just a personal note, I would be happy if the weekly loot boxes for arcade came back, but I get why not. It's more general game thing now. And this is a note for something that's happening right now. I think like 2 days ago from recording this, Dev talked about the fact they're doing less oddball heroes. And to say the least, that hasn't gone down well. I am of the opinion that I feel like it is really sad to lose a bunch of the oddball heroes, especially the ones like, I would say, Zenyatta, Ramatra, Bastion, Winston, Hammond, etc. Because I feel like they really make the roster more interesting to look at compared to just getting humans. And it's a bit sad that at this point, Ramatra is almost like 3 years ago now. Like, that's a crazy ass wait for like a new robot or a new animal and etc. So I really hope they react to the feedback the community has been giving them that the oddballs are important. They should give us more of those. Maybe not like every 3rd hero, but maybe every 4th or 5th hero, because at this point we've gone like 6 to almost 8 heroes without getting an oddball really. Except for like maybe the tanks, but I'll be fully honest, if we act like Avenger, Hazard and Amauga are oddballs, I think we're kind of pushing it. But anyway, that's my crazy miscellaneous thoughts about the game, because I'll be fully honest, I don't have any balanced opinions. Wow, this hero's OP. Who cares? I don't play the mode where the hero's OP. If it's a problem in 5v5, I don't care. I play 66. It happens. That sucks, I guess. But anyway, let's get to my next bit. Workshop. Workshop, to me, needs a few things. First of all, I think Workshop needs a way to pick what balance patch you're playing on in a more convenient way than the way they're doing it right now, because it's a bit of a mess that we have like 2 different like control game modes you gotta pick between, and one of them puts you on the 66 balance patch and the one puts you on the 5v5 balance patch. I think there should just be like a toggle somewhere that put you on the 5v5 or 6v6 balance patch for like any mode, just to make it a bit easier to use. I would even argue, if possible, I think we should also have the ability to select some of the classic, like Overwatch classic game mode balance patches, just to try those balance patches again, because I feel like Overwatch was very interesting in those states sometimes. Like the launch balance patch is such a like weird balance patch in comparison to now, but I also think it's kind of interesting because so many heroes are different, and on a personal note, I would really like it because it makes my life easier for getting footage of how heroes used to work, so that could be nice, because right now I do technically have the footage, but like I kind of just quickly got it when the heroes were like in that state for a short bit. But that's just a thing I think would be important for the workshop. Another thing I think is really important is just in general doing a workshop update. The workshop update has very much been left to rot, and it does make me a bit sad to see, and I do hope now that they've done a bunch of improvements to the live game that they can do some workshop improvements. I would even argue, I think a workshop update should come with them adding like community-made workshop game modes to the arcade. Like I remember, I think it's by Cactus Poppy, the Domination game mode. That game mode, when I played it, it was great. And I feel like, how interesting could it be if like you gave that game mode to the wider community in the arcade, and then they could react to it, and they could be like, oh my god, this is the best game mode ever, I would love more of this. Because it was kind of like a team deathmatch, but with like more of a point. Because like you had to like capture these points, and the more points you were holding would like multiply how much score you get per kill, which was like super interesting. That was a super fun game mode. Another thing I think is very important is just more choice for picking other stuff. I would say the dream is a map maker. Right now it seems impossible. I would even argue I think we need something like a Halo Forge that just lets us place random objects in the map. I would even say I think the regular game modes need access to the stadium maps in the custom game. Like I would love to have access to that arena map from Stadium, like the one inside the Colosseum would be interesting. I would love to have access to Wetwood Forest, I think it is, and just like use that to make game modes with, or just like play with. I'm going to mention something with Halo Infinite now. PvE is dead right now. Hopefully it comes back. I don't expect it to, because like the lore seems kind of fucked. But I would really like if they did something similar to Infinite. After Infinite lost, like, arguably its PvE support, they gave a lot of the PvE stuff to the community. The community now has access to the game's campaigns, like all of the AIs. They can just make a little guy and have him be in the map. They can make a bunch of PvE game modes, which I feel like that should be the way to do it. Like, yeah, maybe you guys are not going to make PvE, but maybe the community can. I think the community could make something really interesting, very fun. I would just love to see the training bots that were made for like Hero Mastery used. I would love to see all the No Sector bots finally see some use, because I really miss the Charger unit. I really miss PvE, guys. It's kind of crazy how much I miss when Overwatch did PvE. Man, we used to have archives and now we don't. That's not to say I'm unhappy with the game right now, but man, I am really unhappy that I'm not getting my PvE missions, man. I really love this story shit. I've been playing Halo recently. It's been kind of making me go, wow, man. If Overwatch had a story mission, if Overwatch had like a horde mode, I would be so happy. I would love to play it all the time. I don't need my skill trees. I'm kind of just a sucker for just shooting random bots. Not like in like versus AI, but it's like interesting bots that like react to what I'm doing. It's so fun. That's kind of the big strokes of what I want. I think these are what I mentioned in this video are some of the big things I really want for Overwatch, because I think the game could use some of these improvements. And I hope my mad ramblings, without a script, this is like unscripted, just like made any sense to you. And I hope anyone on the team sees this, so some of these improvements can come into the game, because I would really like some of these changes, especially the workshop changes. I'm honest, guys. I would love to just get anything workshop at this point. Just let people do something cool with the workshop. Even a note I forgot to add is that like I think it could be cool if there was some kind of progression with the workshop, maybe at something called a verified game mode system, so people can gain experience points while playing it. But that's it for me for now. Have a good one, everyone, and remember, I love this game. I hope you love it too, but there's still some way to go, but that's good.